See me? Can you hear me?
Yep. All good, mate. Yep.
Fuck yeah. Got this shit nailed.
That's it. All right, Reuben and Richard from Taliesin, welcome to Nightbreed. How are you going?
Good, mate. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. It's good. So I read that Taliesin started in '95. Is that right?
Yeah. So me and Reuben sort of started the band, sort of hanging around, met up with each other, had similar musical interests, which at the time was, back in '95, I guess everyone was into the sort of grunge thing and everyone was playing like Pearl Jam, Tool type stuff, and came across a couple of blokes that like Dream Theater and Fake Spawning and stuff like that. So
I met Richard at a gig that I was doing, and he said he played guitar. Oh, what kind of guitar have you got? Ibanez Gem. Oh, okay. What kind of amp have you got? I've got a Massa. Oh, we've got to play.
Yeah, cool. That's great. So was that in Canberra that you first got together as well? Yeah. Cool. What was the like back in the '90s? What was the sort of metal scene like in Canberra? Were there many prog shows going on?
Kind of. Depends what you call prog. I mean, Alchemist was pretty big, and they sort of crossed over into that. So there was a very healthy scene in Canberra. There wasn't a lot of people doing the kind of stuff that we were doing. So there wasn't the Dream Theater sort of stuff wasn't really there. I had a previous band called Requiem, which was, we did Dream Theater, Queensryche covers, a bit of Faith No More, that sort of stuff. And that was the closest. I joined them because, wow, someone's actually playing this kind of music. And that all fell apart. I did some other bands. When I got together with Richard, we ended up grabbing the singer and drummer from that band.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I was in a band as well previously that we played more sort of traditional metal like Black Sabbath and Whitesnake and that sort of stuff. So yeah, we sort of grabbed the bass player from that band. So it was sort of the two bands combined, what was left of them. And we started after, we looked around for a while, had a few different auditions, and no one really worked out. So we went back to people we knew.
Yeah, fair enough. That's cool. Yeah. So what were the early shows like? Did you manage to get on some bills back then in the '90s when you started out?
Yeah, we played pretty much from, I think we jammed for and wrote for about 6 months, and then we were ready to start playing. We threw a few covers in, which we still pull out every now and again. We would generally we'd either be by far the heaviest band on the bill or by far the least heavy. So we do gigs with all these death metal bands and black metal and all that sort of thing, or we play with sort of pop punk and alternative sort of bands. And so, we were either one extreme or the other.
Yeah, we rarely turned down any gigs at the start, I'd say.
Yeah.
Just have to play anywhere with anyone and just get out there. And
we probably played once or twice a month.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Yes. And so Taliesin, what was the inspiration for the name? Where did that come from?
Names are hard.
They are.
And here was a name that we didn't all hate, and Taliesin was the bard, the wizard of music, and we thought that works for us. I think Wayne, our drummer, suggested it, and we all looked at each other and went, "Does anyone hate it? No. All right." Because we'd
just look for some world
I think we had a gig that week, and and
it stuck.
It stuck. Nice. And what was the you're saying that you kind of jammed to work out songs? Does that mean you wrote together, or was someone sort of bringing the bones of a song and you took it from there?
Mostly songs were brought in, sort of largely put together, and then we would play around with them a little bit and make some suggestions.
Guitarist and Reuben played keys. So I'd bring in a song and he'd go, I'll play this harmony to this bit, or this keys would sound good over this bit. And sort of vice versa. He'd bring in a song and I'd go, we'll put a harmony here, or play the same thing there, or just, But
people would have a song and I'd supply some lyrics. Or
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So you're saying you're both into Dream Theater and stuff. What's the golden age of prog? Like, when was the best prog coming out, do you think?
Probably the 70s.
Yeah.
There's the 70s, there's the 90s. There's a lot of good prog nowadays too.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I've got a Yes t-shirt on under here, so I go all the way back to that sort of stuff and the jazz fusion and all that sort of thing. But we also both really loved the Testament and stuff like that as well, and then a whole lot of the 80s hair bands which had good guitar players. So a bunch of really good shred there, Van Halen and so on.
Yeah, cool. So Ruben, you were saying earlier that you worked in the US for a bit. Like, was the band sort of just on hiatus for a little bit while you were overseas?
They continued for quite a while without me. So we were a 5-piece, and when I left, they continued as a 4-piece and dropped the keyboard songs and rearranged some things for one guitar. I was away for about 10 years, I think.
Wow.
And eventually moved back for work. And at that stage, I think the band had been in hiatus for a couple of years at that stage. A little while.
It's a stage where I got pretty bad arthritis in my fingers, and so I had trouble playing guitar, and sort of just couldn't do it confidently. So sort of took some time off, tried to relearn how to play with sort of not using my middle finger, which is, I don't know if you'd see that. Where is it?
Oh wow! Yeah.
So not pretty. Lost my modelling contract, but So it took a couple of years off, and then Ruben came back, and I was like, I might take I'll play the bass, because obviously bass is easier, and Ruben can come back and play the guitar. And in going through that, my guitar skills had improved a little bit. I was getting a bit more comfortable playing again, so it just worked out easier that I could, if I already knew how all the guitar parts went, seeing as I'd rearranged them all, so they were different from when Ruben had left. So I stuck with guitar. Ruben jumped onto bass for a while, and we continued it as a 4-piece for, I don't know how long, 3 or 4 years, maybe longer.
3 years, something like that, yeah.
And then, Ruben was keen to jump back on the guitar, so we started looking for a bass player, and came across one who's Chris Turk, who joined a couple of years ago.
Oh, cool. Yeah, nice.
We sort of eased him into the idea of it by drafting him for a couple of covers shows that we did. We did a Queensryche show, and then we did a Pink Floyd show. And I think after the first Queensryche show, we was like, you want to start learning some Taliesin songs too?
Oh.
And, but mainly we're all good mates and good friends, so it really was important that we have someone that we get along with. So we sort of tried him out for a little while and just see if we could get on with him.
Yeah,
he definitely did.
That's cool. Talking about the cover shows, I've seen you've done a few different ones. Is there any band in particular that you really like? Yep, this is our favorite stuff to to emulate, to cover.
I'd say the Pink Floyd, because the Queensryche is good, but the Queensryche is a little bit harder, and the Pink Floyd just gets such an awesome audience reaction. And I grew up. I mean, I was 5 years old when The Wall came out, and I actually remember listening to it then with my dad, and so standing up there doing the Brick in the Wall solo, or listening to the people when we do Comfortably Numb, listening to the people in the front row going, "Oh man, I got goosebumps," and everyone sings along for "Wish You Were Here." Yeah. Wish they do that with our songs too.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
But we also do we do an acoustic show as well. Our drummer travels a bunch, and we were not able to do a bunch of gigs because of that. So it started off. Richard and Dave started putting together an acoustic duo, and then I sort of pushed my way into that too. And we were doing a bunch of classic rock, and then some prog, and then some songs from thrash bands. But when a thrash band does a ballad, that's kind of the one that we'd do. So we did the acoustic show for a bit, and then we got a cellist for a while, which was a pretty cool addition. Then she moved up to Sydney, and Turk's got himself an acoustic bass, so we bring him along too. But we got what, 3 hours or so of songs.
Yeah.
Everything from Death Angel to Deep Purple to Porcupine Tree to Dream Theater.
Yeah, so that's the Silencio, right?
That's right.
Yeah, cool. So
and the vocal harmonies are a big deal with that too. I mean, we've got Dave as a great singer. Richard's a great singer. I sing.
You do all right, mate.
I'm a bass.
Cool. So talking about covers and stuff, is there a tribute show that you haven't had a chance to do that you'd love to have a crack at, like a band that you'd want to do a few songs from?
Talked about Steel Panther.
Yeah, we've been asked to do it once, so yeah. A lot of it just comes down to timing and being able to do them justice. So, if someone wants us to do, I think, got asked to do an Incubus show or something like that, it's like, that's going to take way too.
We got asked to do Alice Cooper, and our singer said, no, I can't do Alice. We're tend to be a little bit perfectionist, so I mean, even with the keyboards, I'll spend a bunch of time programming the keyboard sounds so that they're like just right, and
they're heaps of fun to do, but at the same time, don't want them to take away focus of being an original band and concentrating on, original material. So,
yeah, fair enough. Yeah. So 2013, the Tally of Lies and Sin is released. What do you remember about recording and everything for that one?
Yeah, so it actually came out, I think, 2007.
Oh, there you go. Okay. I'm just getting the date off Bandcamp, but there you go. Yeah, it's even earlier. Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah. No, it was definitely 2007. So we started recording that just after Ruben left, I think, to go to Hawaii when he went to the York, over to Boston, wherever it was.
The first Boston, time we went.
Yeah. So we were just about to start it, and then that happened. And so, we just sort of work how we're going to, we can record some of these songs the way they were originally intended, with two guitars or a guitar and keyboard, or which we did with a couple of them. Then there's a couple we rewrote just to make them a little bit more playable, or close to be playable live. So we recorded that basically bedrooms, garages, with a guy called John Cougar, just a local friend of ours who was getting into recording and that sort of stuff. So he had the gear and we had the songs, so we gave that a go. So that took a little while. Again, we were both sort of learning, hadn't really recorded much before that as a band, and he hadn't done much recording, I don't think. So it took a while. We ended up sending it over to a guy called Henning Pauly, who had worked with James LaBrie and Sebastian Bach from Skid Row.
Yeah, cool.
The ad called Frameshift. So he was over at the States. He moved back to Germany, sent it over to him. He sent back a pretty decent mix. So we released that EP and haven't released much since. So until hopefully very soon. Yeah.
Cool. So, with the writing and that kind of stuff, are you still kind of, writing new material a bunch and playing when you're playing live and that kind of stuff, even though there hasn't been more recording?
Yeah, it's interesting the way we seem to work is we've got Ruben's actually mixing an album we recorded 5 years ago or so.
Okay. Yeah.
Ruben had a few issues with his studio burning down, so he can let you know more about that if he wants to.
Oh my God! Yeah, what happened?
Ran into a few hurdles along the way.
Yeah.
So that album was done and recorded a while ago. In the meantime, while Ruben's been mixing that, written another album that's pretty much 9 or 10 songs finished. Just need some vocals. Probably would have been done by now, but Canberra's been in a lockdown for the last month, so just waiting for a chance for me to go and record Dave to do some singing, and then that'll be pretty much done. And there's a bunch of leftover songs from these, like just writing over the last year, which don't necessarily fit, a bit funkier rather than proggier. And
there's also a bunch of songs that we do live that haven't been recorded too.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, is like half our live set is stuff that isn't recorded.
Oh.
So we've got like a live set, and we might only play 2 of the songs that we've got on albums and things like that. So we should record those. That would be the smart thing to do.
All right, a couple of albums ready to go as well. So
yeah, so just been a long hiatus, and then bang, there'll be probably 3 or 4 albums out in the next 2 years.
Yeah, wow. So what happened with your studio, Ruben? If you wanna tell us about it, it's up to you, mate.
Burned down. There was a refrigerator in here that was I inherited, and I got a call when I was at work. My mum said your studio's on fire. Oh, what? You better come home. All right, I'm coming home. I get home and there's fire reason they won't let me in, and smoke pouring out, and it was basically totaled. It's the same building, so the walls were good. So had it rebuilt, had some insurance which covered putting a new roof on and rewiring it and that sort of thing. Most of the gear was just written off, so I had a lot of keyboards. They didn't survive. I have some of the guitars, even though they were in there in the fire. This one here, you can see the back of the neck. It's actually got char marks, and so some of them have war wounds. Some of them were just toast and had big burnt parts on them, but I salvaged a couple of them.
Yeah, and what about the like you were saying, you recorded back then? Are you using Dropbox or something? Did you lose the recordings as well? Or?
No, it was all. I don't have it here, but it was on a hardened hard drive. So all of my recordings were. Richard still had all of his stuff that he'd done, and that was basically the album was still in Richard's hands.
Yeah, and then my computer died, so my hard drive died. So we had to sort of work. Ruben's working with whatever we've got left over type. So most of it's there. So
it is.
Cool.
Yeah.
So do you
missing here.
have a date in mind when you're sort of aiming for the next release to come out?
About 2 years ago.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I've been slow with work and so on, and learning some new tools, but it's I'd say it's sitting there at the past the 90% done mark.
Okay. Yeah.
Just needs that final push.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yes, we're both pretty much at around the same. Like, let's say Ruben's mixing one album, I'm trying my hand at the other one. So, but yeah, a lot of it's learning. Well, I didn't really have a clue what I was doing. I was just like, "Oh, this works. This sounds good." Trying, looking at video about how to EQ things and how to compress things right, so it doesn't sound totally shit house. But
yeah, we're pretty lucky with YouTube at the moment. Like you get stuck and you're like, "Oh, just Google it quickly." It's amazing. Yeah, that's cool. So you guys have a show coming up with Age of Emergence, right? Is that still...
We're not sure when that's happening. Yeah. That was cancelled due to the lockdown of most of New South Wales and Canberra. So that'll get rescheduled when things, there's going to be heaps of shows that need to be rescheduled. So no one's quite sure when these are going to happen, whether they're going to happen later this year, early next year, which is more likely.
Yeah.
We played with them before up in Sydney, and it was a good gig. We thoroughly enjoyed their show, and so definitely keen to play with them again.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But there's been quite a few shows we had lined up that haven't been able to go ahead. So
yeah, so
that's what it is.
Yeah, that's it. Everyone's going through it some form of it or other, aren't they? Yeah. But so what's the plan in the meantime? Are you able to jam online or anything like that, or just get the practice down by yourself? So what's the go while you're stuck in your house?
Richard sent everyone a bunch of songs to learn.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah.
How you going?
I was working on the it's our singer's 50th birthday, so I spent today putting together actually when does this come out?
It'll be a couple of weeks away from now.
So he'll have seen it by then. I'm doing a version of Queen's Flash Gordon.
Oh, nice.
Put his name all over it. So that was what I did today.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Excellent. So I'm curious, like, because one of the bands I'm in, we all use Logic Pro X, and we live sort of not near each other, but that works because we can use the same session and stuff. Are you guys doing anything like that, where you're sort of able to access each other's recording sessions?
Oh, look, me and Ruben could probably do it, but a couple of the blokes in the band are a bit challenged.
Old school. Call them old school. It's nice.
Old school. Yeah. So it's really just been, here's some songs, learn them the best you can. And in the meantime, I've been trying to, like, I've sent 3 songs, and I have to relearn them myself. I tend to record something and then forget it.
Yeah.
If it's not thrown into a set pretty much straight away. So it's like, oh, how did this bit go? Oh shit. So there's So I'm trying to learn them too, Ruben. So it's all good. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, look,
so,
yeah. Sorry, mate. What are we gonna?
I don't know.
No worries. Well, look, Ruben and Richard, thanks for your time, and I'm definitely looking forward to more recordings. It's it's good stuff. Yeah.
Looking forward to someday visiting you over in on the west side.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, I'll cut this up a little bit. That's something else I can ask. Have you guys played outside of Canberra at all much? Like, since this started?
Sydney.
Bunch in Sydney.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a Dapto gig scheduled.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were at one stage we were planning on going to Japan. We'd sort of ran into a few issues before we really get that off the ground, but we'd put a little bit of money into going over there, so it's a shame. But hopefully once we get a couple of these albums, we've actually got something to actually tour on, something to promote rather than something that came out 10 or 15 years ago.
Yeah. And I think when we can get COVID sorted as much as we can, people are going to be keen to see bands from elsewhere. You know what I mean? Like, that's a good opportunity to get around. Yeah.
I mean, we don't even tend to go out of our way to book gigs because we get offered enough to. It's about as much as we want to be gigging anyway.
That's cool. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. That's great. Yeah. Cool. All right, fellas. Well, look, thank you very much. Have a good one. Thanks for your time.
Hey, mate. Thanks for having us. Yeah.